Shalom and greetings to you all. Well, it's just the beginning of June, and summer's right around the corner, and the beginning of June tells us it's just about time for Arve's birthday. 91 years young and still going strong. Well done, Arve. I think he plans on living forever. Why not? And we're a week away from Father's Day. And like at Mother's Day, I get a lot of calls and emails from people who are torn over these iconic dates. And they have trouble in their own minds and have trouble agreeing to observe the fifth commandment about honoring their mothers and fathers. Because their fathers were distant, absent, abusive, non-supportive, nasty, even downright hateful, who cared nothing for what the kids had to say, but expected nothing but blind obedience. It's not time to make a change. Just relax. Take it easy. You're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl. Settle down. If you want to, you can marry. Look at me. I'm old, but I'm happy. And sometimes people are happy and sometimes people aren't so happy. I was once like you are now. And I know it's not easy to be calm when you found something going on. Take your time. Think a lot. Always think a lot. Think of everything you've got. You'll still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. You know, I tell these people, even though we're told to honor our parents, it's the only commandment that's unique in its position, and it actually goes both ways. Our parents have an obligation to us to love us, to care for us, to provide for us, and they must warrant that respect. But I also tell them, sometimes their parents did not know any better and did not have the skills to be good parents, and that they have to forgive them and never let anybody tell them that their dreams may dissipate. Because you can always hold on tight to your dreams. Hold on tight to your dreams. Yeah. When you see the shadows falling, when you hear the cold wind calling, hold on tight to your dreams. Always hold on tight to your dreams, no matter what your parents tell you. Okay, your parents were your parents. Let's all take a moment now, and let's offer up prayers for those we love and who did not necessarily know how to love us back. And while we're at it, since it is an individual entreaty in a group of like-minded thinking people, let's call everybody that we know together in a showing of faith, of love as a community, a chavura fellowship. When we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, that unites us all, my friends, in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. It's a togetherness thing, my friends, as a community. So let's all spread love, goodwill, fellowship to the entire world, because the world certainly can use it. And as we generate a spiritual connection that unites each of us together as a whole, let's send out that special healing and renewal energy to everybody we know who can use it. Think of whoever you know that needs some healing and renewal. Focus on them. Call their names. Think them. You know, for dear David Lang, for Amelia, for Bob, for Aubrey, for Sarah and Ben, for Lindsay and Devora, But of course, always, my friends, make sure you include yourselves, because you may need renewal too. Never mind may, we all need renewal. It is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out that circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because this is a world of spirit, and spirit never dies. Shabbat. Avotenu, Makor HaBracha, Vimotenu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of the body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Let's all say amen, my friends. Mishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed. Every one of us, wherever we are, remembers this is your creation of sacred time in your sacred space. To talk to whoever you believe in. It's a part of your intention, your kavanah, your goodwill to the universe. Now, the real journey it's about to begin is this week we read beha'alotcha, when you set up. Now, finally, the people are going to begin crossing the wilderness. They've been at the mountain a year. And this week we actually see the first post-Exodus Passover performed. Get a glimpse into the nature of the people. We see the cloud of fire, the glory of God, the mysterious glory of God, which will actually be the daily companion to this entire generation. A generation who whine, who complain. And this beginning actually has a very unusual biblical element to it. You see, we'd already been told last week that God spoke to Moses in the second month of the second year about Passover and the journey and leaving. But here we are, back in the first month, being told what God said to Moses, and we're whisked back in time to observe this Passover. Now, this is the only instance in the Bible where the backstory is filled in. Numbers 9:1. And the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the second year of their going out from the land of Egypt in the first month, saying, let the Israelites do the Passover offering at its fixed time. On the 14th day in this month of twilight, you shall do it as its fixed time. According to all its statutes and according to all its laws, you shall do it. And Moses spoke to the Israelites to do the Passover offering. And they did the Passover offering in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at twilight, in the wilderness of Sinai. I'm sure you'll all have noticed that there's this incredible narrative symmetry here. The first Passover was celebrated just before the Israelites set out on their journey from Egypt. Now they're about to move onward from the Sinai encampment in their wilderness itinerary, and again, the departure is marked by the Passover offering. And remember, the partaking in the Passover sacrifice is the primary act of affirming membership in the community of Israel. Therefore, it's super important for everyone, as we are reminded, one statute shall you have, both for the stranger and for the native of the land. Now, there had been a Near Eastern practice of allowing guest residents of a community to adopt the local cult rules. Now, no formal ceremony of conversion, as in later times, was ever required. Though the law in Exodus stipulates the stranger must be circumcised before he can partake in the Passover offering. But it's the observance of the Passover that makes one a member. We are now ready to move on. And on the day the tabernacle was set up, the cloud covered the tabernacle and the tent of the covenant, and in the evening it would be over the tabernacle like a semblance of fire until morning. Thus it would be perpetually. The cloud would cover it and a semblance of fire at night. And as the cloud lifted from the tent, then the Israelites would journey onward. And in the place where the cloud would abide, there would the Israelites camp. Now, all of Israel's movements through the wilderness are going to be prompted by the divine sign of the cloud and fire. It's a permanent fixture, with the duration of encampment varying from a night or two to a month to as much as a year. And sometimes the cloud would be but a few days over the tabernacle. By the Lord's word they would camp, and by the Lord's word they would journey onward. And sometimes the cloud would be from evening till morning, and the cloud would lift in the morning, and they would journey onward. Or a day and a night, And the cloud would lift and they would journey onward, or 2 days, or a month, or a year. When the cloud lingered over the tabernacle to abide over it, the Israelites would camp and would not journey onward. And when it lifted, they would journey onward. By the Lord's words, they would camp, and by the Lord's word, they would journey onward. And it happened in the second year, in the second month, on the 20th of the month, that the cloud lifted from the tabernacle of the covenant. That's very specific, eh? It's time to go. We know everything except what time they left. The cloud was the determiner. And when the cloud was on the tabernacle, only Moses was allowed in. No one else. I said, hey, you get off of my cloud. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Don't hang around, 'cause two's a crowd. No, two's a crowd. It's only Moses. Only Moses is allowed. Now remember, these are people who have known only one lifestyle. For the last year, they've been camped at the mountain, and now they're pulling up stakes and heading to who knows where. And it does not take long. They come out. Their true nature, Numbers 11:1. And the people became complainers of evil in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord heard, and his wrath flared, and the Lord's fire burned against them and consumed along the edge of the camp. And the riffraff that was in their midst felt a craving. And the Israelites again wept and said, who will feed us meat? We remember the fish we used to eat in Egypt for free. There is nothing save manna before our eyes. Meat, fish, eating for free. Talk about selective memory. The slaves did not have to pay for their food, which was provided by their owners, but of course, a brutally high price was exacted through the punishing labor imposed upon them by their taskmasters. Nothing free there. And the word used here, asufsuf, best understood as riffraff. And it's derived from the verb asaf, to gather. And gathering, or gathering back, is an essential tenet of Judaism. And while this negative gathering takes place, Moses gathers, asaf, the same term is used, 70 elders who have the Spirit of God enter them, and they become prophetic. Now, interestingly enough, the Hebrew word hatnabeh, to prophecy, means to exhibit ecstatic behavior, dancing, writhing, emitting predictive speech. Now, it reminds me of watching whirling dervishes who get carried away in their trance-like state. Now, they put on an awesome show. Now, this is a one-time event, my friends. The elders demonstrate here that they partake of the Spirit, but they have no continuing role as prophets, in contrast to Moses, who was the only prophet. The role of the prophet is a special role, but in this case leads to something else, something very fascinating. Numbers 12:1. And Miriam and Aaron with her, spoke against Moses concerning the Cushite wife he had taken. Now we know Zipporah was a Midianite, not Cushite. Cush might be a designation for Nubia or Ethiopia, because we know it was a part of Africa, which would make this wife of Moses black. Now, if she's a second wife, some scholars suggest the objection might simply be to the fact that Moses had compromised Zipporah's privileged status by the second marriage, but that's projecting our views of marriage back into the past. Just look at the patriarchs and the rulers to come, like David and Solomon. As unfortunate as it may be, my friends, it could reflect racial disapproval and bigotry. And given Miriam's upcoming punishment, this is the most likely meaning. But they go on, and they said, is it but through Moses alone that the Lord has spoken? Has he not spoken through us as well? Now, the familial murmuring should be read against the background of the immediately preceding episode of the 70 elders. Their two people, Eldad and Merdad, were singled out as temporary instruments of prophecy. And here we have Aaron and Miriam jealous, right? We have these two siblings come forth to propose themselves as candidates for the same role, though there is absolutely no prior evidence that God has been speaking directly through either of them. Right now, there's two offenses here: racism and jealousy. And jealousy is such a terrible thing. It points to the 10th commandment, the one of coveting, which is a way of telling the universe you're not satisfied with what you have. You want what somebody else has because it's better. Well, here Miriam and Aaron are saying God speaks through them too, and therefore they should be seen as prophets also, not just this temporary visitation on the 70 people. Now they should just mind their own business. It's when we don't mind our own business trouble occurs. If the wife and I are fussing, brother, that's all right, because me and that sweet woman got a license to fight. Why don't you mind your own business? Mind your own business. Because if you mind your business, then you won't be minding mine. Minding other people's business seems to be high-toned. I got all that I can do just to mind my own. Why don't you mind your own business? Mind your own business. If you mind your own business, you'll stay busy all the time. And that's true, my friends. Isn't that some fantastic advice? And the great biblical theme of sibling rivalry, until now, absent from the story of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, who haven't had that big a role yet. Here it makes an appearance. Now God calls the three of them to come and meet him outside the tent of meeting, and he asks, "Why did you not fear to speak against my servant Moses?" And the Lord's wrath flared against them, and he went off, and the cloud moved off from over the tent, and look, Miriam was blanched as snow. And Aaron turned to Miriam, and look, she was struck with skin blanch. Now, most translations say leprosy. Yours probably does too. But it's a complete loss of pigmentation, a whitening of the skin. If the Cushite woman is actually black, well, this sudden draining of pigmentation would be incredible poetic justice, instant karma for Miriam's slander. And Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "God, pray, heal her, pray." Now, Moses' prayer, considered the shortest prayer in the Bible, is a mere 5 words and 5 syllables, both in the Hebrew and in the translation, devoid of any metaphorical elaboration or explanation of motive or circumstance. And the people did not journey onward until Miriam was gathered back in. Gathering and welcoming back. Crucial to our belief system. Room for all. All are welcome. No one is left behind. Yes, the world is sacred, so is everything in it. Express your gratitude. Light a candle, my friends. Make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free. Honor your freedom. Be happy. Be well. Be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do. Learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy your journey. We take the twists and turns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a great week. A week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Look what Miriam did. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked, my friends. And as I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you, as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, and the world just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always there in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love, and all of you, and please act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none, cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power, my friends, lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you. You are never alone. You are forever blessed, and you are forever having the ability to bless people around you. Everybody you meet, you can bring them health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Let's transform it into positive things. Friends, your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart. We're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief. Do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support in life. We all have or could have that special someone in our life. So find them and tell them what they mean. There's only so much time. Do not get lost in petty jealousy or in slander. I was feeling insecure. You might not love me anymore. I was shivering inside. I was shivering inside. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry that I made you cry. I didn't want to hurt you. I'm just a jealous guy. Don't be jealous. Mind your own business, my friends. Love and forgive. Now be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, and be loving. Now print your will on the blank canvas of life and keep celebrating being free to be you. Shabbat Shalom. Blessings to you all. Thank you. And get ready for Father's Day. It's just coming up in a week. Take care. Thanks. Bye.